There we go. Okay. So, start? Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much, Emily and Ms. Bix and the library and all of you guys for having myself and my daughter Homa here. But Homa wasn't invited. I brought her here. I brought her here with me, one, because she's the best company, my best friend, and then my travel company, and then she being a captain of a debate team also, and then really vocal and high assertive voice. So she might be able to answer a lot of questions that you guys might have. I was suspecting that maybe there are any youth that I might not be able to answer their questions to their satisfaction, and Hobart can be the ambassador of youth. So that is why Hobart has come with me, and then you can see how the way we dress up, the way we talk, the way whatever, and that is the main mission of such presentation that I made with Humanities Montana. Thanks for organizations like Humanities Montana that we become aware of the people around us and the cultures around us. These days, it is very important to know who lives in our neighborhood, especially ever since 9/11. People have become so conscious of the fact, who is that person? Should we be scared of that person or not, and all that. So when 9/11 happened, my husband and I, we were living in Enterprise in Alabama, an underserved area. My husband's a psychiatrist, so he was working as a resident then. So at that time, in Alabama, you do notice what prejudice is and what discrimination is, and Enterprise was just like Fort Benton. I don't know much about Fort Benton, but Enterprise is a solid military camp. So we felt safe there, but outside of Enterprise, I could tell, going to Auburn University and then University of South Alabama in Mobile. My PhD is from Auburn University in Auburn, and then master's is from University of South Alabama in Mobile. So both places, I could tell what fear is, what discrimination is, what prejudice is, and all of a sudden, everything changed. The looks, the friendships, the connections, the relations changed within a week. So I started thinking and feeling about the concept of kind of like creating a dialogue, building bridges, or mending that connection that got broken somehow. And then coming here in Montana in 2009, then finally with Humanities Montana. So I've been working with Humanities Montana since 2011 and going around Montana speaking about making such presentations. Ever since then, I got this opportunity that, okay, my opportunity. I think I was just, by birth, I was kind of like a teacher type of a person. Even as a parent, I'm a cruel parent, always bossing them around, lecturing them. But that is my forte, lecturing. And I thought, okay, education, yeah, because even when they were little, Homer's twin brother, Zaki, they're 17. But when he was little, he used to be scared of monsters under the bed or something in his closet. And I would always give him a reason that, or turn on the light, flashlight, and have him look under the bed and in the closet, that look, there are no monsters. So kind of, I took the same analogy with education. We are afraid, we've been afraid ever since 9/11 of any person wearing a turban or any person having a long beard and wearing a turban or any person having a long beard, wearing a turban or no turban, but calling himself a Muslim and or praying, because Muslims pray 5 times a day. And in winters, those 5 times come very quickly, one after the other, and you're bound to notice your Muslim colleague or your Muslim neighbor praying at one time or another. So you're bound to get scared that, wow, what if they are a terrorist? So then I thought that it's just like monster under the bed or in the closet. You need to shine light and let people know what they are afraid of. Should they be afraid of all the Muslims or of all the people wearing turbans, of all the people having beards, that kind of a thing. So that idea was brewing in my mind, and then Humanities Montana, I met Kim, and then from there on, it started great opportunity. Scary at times too. I've gotten a lot of death threats, a lot happened, that don't you dare come to our, town, don't you dare come to this place, how dare you, this and that. But all well and good. There have been a lot of positive experiences also, so that is why I applaud you, thank you so much, it's courageous on your part. We are used to taking such dares, but it's courageous on your part, inviting a Muslim person to your community, and then, so I appreciate it, and thank you all for coming on this hot 102 degrees temperature, and your library to attend this. I am a professor at, MSUB in Billings. My degree is in school psychology. I am a practicing school psychologist, a practicing mental health counselor, and a full-time professor as well at MSU. So Pam's son Matt, he's one of Mark Lambert, he is one of my students. So she already knew that what my presentation might be like. Hope it is good. So I was invited by a social studies teacher in Miles City, high school social studies teacher in Miles City. What he did, that was one of the places that I got death threats from, and it's in their paper also. I don't remember 2018 or 2018, I think, or 2019. What he did that he kind of regretted, but we didn't regret in the end, and that was my largest crowd ever of audience. He gave his kids a homework. He handed everyone 2 flashcards, index cards, and asked them to, a Muslim is coming, a Muslim woman is coming to talk about her religion. So you write down your question, what you would want to ask a Muslim person, and then ask your family member, mom or dad also, what they would like to know, and bring me 2 questions. And then he sent me all those index cards. So here and there in this presentation, you'll see those questions. Those questions, I love those so much. Those questions are the ones asked by the high school students. When the parents found out that a Muslim woman was coming, the school had 170 students in total with staff and everyone, and my attendees were 215 people. And in the paper, in the article, the red emojis, the anger emojis, were 67 anger emojis there. But wonderful experience. But in the end, they all said, yeah, we think that our children needed to know this, because I always say that, hey, I'm not coming here to preach. I'm not a pastor, I'm not a reverend, I'm not preaching, and you will not promise that you will not become Muslim after this presentation. I'm just shining light under the bed in the dark so that you see and you're better able to tell the difference between a monster and the real or the reality. So this is my little attempt at making this world a slightly better place. So I hope it helps. One of the things that I told Humanities Montana and wrote in my introduction with Humanities Montana was, as a Muslim, that a Muslim will always start anything that we start. We say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, the Arabic that is written over here. So a student read that introduction in Humanities Montana, and they said, what does that mean? Why do you say the Quranic verse before starting your car? Because I said, even before starting my car, I say Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So now I'm divorced, a single parent. My car has a windshield crack that I'm waiting for it to go to the other end, and then I will change. So it has come to the halfway. It has been 1.5 years. So things like that in my car. So whenever I start my car, I say Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Basically, it means in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, because I don't know if my car will start or not. I would want to be at work on time to take them to school on time. So I just give it all to God. Hey, here, now your responsibility, not my responsibility if the car starts or not. You're the most gracious at flattering him a little also. So you're the most gracious and the most merciful. I am starting with your name. My car better start. That is kind of like a faith. That is kind of like a deep down ingrained faith kind of a thing. That if whenever I start anything with God's name, it will be all right. He will be. I'm like Christians also say that Jesus as my co-pilot. So we will, excuse me, we will talk about that also. Jesus, peace be upon him also. But I ask God, Allah, Allah is the Arabic word for God. And I ask him not to be my co-pilot, just to be the boss, be there with me, don't leave me alone. So that is, you will hear a lot of Muslims say that. You didn't come here to attend a Muslim Islamic presentation. You came here to attend a cultural presentation. But I'm nothing without Islam or my religion. Religion here, people have asked, and I wasn't aware of this, the answer actually. Someone asked me that question in Savage, Montana, next to, where is that? Savage is next to, by Fargo.
Just north of Glendive.
Glendive, yes, exactly, by Glendive. So Savage, Montana, a parent and the audience, he asked that, are you with state or with religion? I said, what do you mean? What's the difference? Because for me, they're the same thing. Religion or Islam for a Muslim, Islam is not just religion. It is the way of life. The way I'm dressed, the way Homa is dressed, we are Pakistanis from or Asians, we're brown skinned, and the way we talk, eat, do things. It's not that we're thinking specifically, okay, now I have to do the Islamic thing. Now I have to do the cultural thing. No, it's one and the same thing. So there is no distinction or differentiation between state or religion. It's one and the same thing. So if you ask me to come and talk about culture, you will have to listen to a little bit of my religion also, because that is how all Muslims all over the world will be working. And that is why or what makes all Muslims kind of similar and a little bit of different because of their cultures, but a lot of similarity is because we share the same religion. Yeah. All right. So this is my beautiful, beautiful country. I was telling Homa the bad corner right here, the bad points of Pakistan, that I do hate Pakistan or Pakistanis sometimes because they do this, they do that. Then I do love that too, because that is my identity. Now I've lived more years in America and less in Pakistan, but still there is that affiliation because I was born there. That is who I am. That is my identity. So this is my culture. The truck the truck that you see on the left, those trucks are found only in Pakistan, nowhere else. And now if you Google it, Google truck art, Nike or some other shoe company, I think it is Nike, they are making shoes, 300 and some dollars worth shoes painted with truck art. It is, the trucks are painted, they have poem verses, poetry verses on them, art, and just Google truck art and you'll see beautiful, colorful art made by hand. and there are just a few very specialized people who have this specialization in this specific type of drawing, and they just by brush and hand, they paint those trucks, and then truck art on shoes, truck art on cushions, truck art on plates, truck art, now truck art is a thing. It used to be a thing, and it is when you come to Pakistan, you will never be bored, stuck in traffic, if you have a truck in front of you. Because you will have so many, you will have poem verses, prayers, quotations, drawings, other things to read on the truck. And I was one time, even in Billings, where there's no chance of getting stuck in traffic, but well, we did get stuck in traffic, and the truck in front of me was the plumbing truck that had that picture of a man who shows his butt crack. You had no way of looking any other way. And I was like, oh my God, I miss my truck art. I miss that truck. I wish there was something nicer. But that is when I realized, okay, the importance of truck art. Pakistan is famous for its food. We are going back home in 2 weeks, and my children have already sent a long list of what they want my mom to cook, and for the foods to be prepared at home, and that has been done, but we were thinking that, okay, we'll have to go for walks mornings and evenings twice, because we'll be eating this, and we need to lose weight when we come back, so that this happens and that happens. So that is what we were discussing. Another wonderful thing is our cricket match. So Pakistan and India were one country in 1940 until 1947, and then we got our independence. We were one country for actually 700 years. And then, of course, the British, dear ones, they came and ruled us for 300 years. And they took our jewels out of Taj Mahal. I don't know why those Indian property jewels are doing what they're doing in London Museum, but well, Museum. And Taj Mahal is just empty, bare walls. So in Pakistan and India, they got their independence in 1947. We became our own independent country. But Pakistanis, they decided before the British left, they said that, okay, we will put all the Hindus in one place and all the Muslims in the other place. And Pakistan became the Muslim place, and India became the majority Hindu place and the majority Muslim place. Not that it's solely Muslim and solely Hindu. Muslims are there also, and Hindus are in Pakistan also. So, but our Muslims and Hindus don't like each other. And why don't they like each other? Because Hindus worship cow, and Muslims eat cow. That is the one thing, that we slaughter cow and eat beef and steaks and all that, and Hindus worship cow. So differences like this, they don't, even though I have a lot of wonderful Hindu friends, and it's not that, it's more of a political thing. But whenever there is a cricket match, oh my God, cricket is just like a baseball game. Whenever there is a cricket match, it is just, we are all glued to our chairs, and it's nail biting kind of a match. This time, India won the championship, and we have not stopped throwing tomatoes at our cricket team. It has been 3 months, but we still hate our cricket team and still cursing them. But that is a huge thing in both countries, India and Pakistan. We never celebrate as much or become depressed as much if we lose from New Zealand or England or other countries. But if we lose from India, it is the end of the world. It cannot happen. Same thing, same sentiment in India. So that is a major thing. The bus on that side, it's called Dulhan bus. That is a regular bus. Dulhan is bride, and bus, it's like metro or something. And again, the bus is painted and decorated also, and you will see it's a work of art on roads, and it's just colorful. I love that. There, Humaya hasn't put henna on her hand. thank God that my children, especially my daughter, is a good, she hasn't, they were born in America, but thank God I was successful in in, not making them 100% Americanized, teenagers. They are Americanized teenagers. I keep on calling them, oh, what a bratty thing to say, because how we have suffered, just like Bill Cosby, what he used to say, or I'm sure your parents or you guys must have said that when we were your age, we used to walk from this place to over there, 5 miles, carrying our backpack and this and that. And Huma's twin brother, their school is just half-hour walk and it's a 5-minute drive. But he calls me to come and pick him up. And there I said, no, why don't you walk? What? In this weather? It is so hot. And it is 87, come on. Montana, 87, where it's open sky and all that, but well. So, when they say such things, then I say, you're so bratty, you're just so, because a lot of my students are like that also. And I tell them, you guys take this technology, imagine yourself, and that happens only in America. You guys know, because you must have seen the young man over there. You might not know, you might be in my daughter's category. So I ask my students, imagine you don't have a laptop and you're sent to Africa to teach a class of like 70 students. There's no electricity, no water, no whiteboard, no markers, no paper pencils. How will you teach your students? And they stay quiet for some time. Well, you still have dirt, you still have branches, you have your hands, you have your voice, but they have to think how, without technology, how can we teach, how can we work, excuse me. Things like that, that is what makes American youth a brat these days, because they cannot survive without the technology or the advancements. Pakistan is a developing country, and we've seen, and I've done things by hand and by all that. So one time when I noticed their brattiness too much, the dishwasher, it broke down. I did not get the new dishwasher for 4 months. And they had to wash dishes for 4 months. Oh my God, I was miserable. I missed the dishwasher. But I was doing a good thing. My children were not. They whined so much. They delayed, procrastinated, and whined, and they made those yuck, ew, that. Oh my God, this is food that you just ate. Just wash it. But they needed the gloves, and they needed the brush, and they needed that and this. And then I remembered how we wouldn't even fill up the sink and put all the dishes. No, we would just wipe and just throw things in the trash or give it to, like, make compost or give it to the pets and then wash dishes. Things have changed. But thank God now they're 17. That was 4 years ago. Now I see that, okay, they are, kind of down to earth. So that is my visits back, even though very expensive and 27-hour journey, but visits back home are paying off. And they are able to adjust. They are not that, oh my God, it is so hot. Where's the air conditioner? Where's this? Where's that? They are not like that anymore. They adjust. So that is, or at least they show patience. So I needed that from them. So it is insulting when you go to some place and you start asking for technology or things. It is insulting to that person that they cannot afford the luxuries that you're used to, that we take for granted over here. One tornado comes or one hailstorm comes and like power goes out and we say, oh, I can't even take water out of the fridge, like the filter. Nothing works without electricity or the power. Now we are just helpless. But there are places that don't have power. So they can survive. One best thing that Huma does that reminds me of is putting henna on her hands. On festivals, we have 2 festivals that we celebrate. It's called Eid, E-I-D. Eid means happiness. So Muslims fast for 1 month. We don't eat or drink water from sunrise to sunset. And we'll talk a little about that later. And then after those 30, it's kind of like your Lent. Ours is anywhere from 28 days to 30 days or 31 days, depending on the month that we're in. Our months are regulated by the moon sighting, new moon. Every new moon is a new month. We have 12 months also. So at the end of the fasting month, Ramadan, we celebrate. There are 3 days where you have to, it's a must for everyone to celebrate and be happy because it's Eid. And the first thing that we do, or the girls do, they put henna. Henna is, henna. It's a shrub with beautiful smelling leaves, scented leaves, and we dry those leaves and crush those and make a green powder, and then let it sit for a couple of days, and then you mix water in that powder, green powder, and it has this beautiful reddish dark brown color. And we even have a saying that when a girl puts henna on her hands, the darker the color, the more that girl will be loved by her mother-in-law. My color was very dark, but my mother-in-law didn't love me as much. I always said, no, the hypothesis does not work. So wrong, refuted. But in the middle is the flag, Pakistan. Green is for Muslim majority, and the white is for the minority. Minority includes the Hindus, Christians, and Sikhs. So there are Hindus, Christians, and Sikhs in Pakistan also. Star and moon are for Islam or the Muslim symbol. The picture on the side, that is my childhood memory. It's not me, but I used to be as pretty in my childhood as well, in my youth. But that's a young girl making butter, and you might have seen, or even in the antique shops where there's an egg beater kind of a thing in the mason jar. It's kind of the same technology working. It's a clay pitcher, and there's raw milk in there, and you just shake it, beat it so much that churning butter, it then separates butter of fats and whey, or the milk liquid at the bottom. So she's making butter. And my grandmother used to make that early in the morning, and I would wake up with this voice, and it was such a rhythmic voice, and then I would go in. So I've learned how to milk cows and goats, and I've had goats here also, and I taught them how to milk goats too, and do all these things for my grandmother. So wonderful. Pakistan, where is it in the world? Well, there's America, and that is from where we fly from Seattle all the way to in Asia, and there is the yellow part that is little tiny Pakistan. It is smaller than Texas. So I know, right? Surprising. And Pakistanis don't like British much. Why not? Why? Because they ruled us for so long. Well, that would have been fine. Indians don't like them for that reason either. But Pakistanis don't like them a little more because when it was time to draw the division line, the person, Redcliffe, who was asked by the Queen to draw that line, separate, make the division, he didn't even come to India to draw the line. He stayed in London and looked at the map and just drew the line. That resulted in India being bigger and Pakistan being smaller. And a lot of majority Muslim areas still stayed in India because of that wrongly drawn line. So that was the one very unfair thing that was done. And one of our river, Indus River, because of that, got its major portion in India and not in Pakistan. And now whenever India is angry, Pakistan and India do get angry at each other a lot of times. Whenever India gets more angry, they stop the water in Indus River, and Pakistan doesn't get any water. And it's what is that called? The land that depends on water, on rainwater. So we are more of that. We don't have. We depend on rainwater for our dams and crop cultivation. So that is the time. That is at that time, we, of course, we say bad things to India, but then we think bad things about Britain also. Sorry, I shouldn't be saying that, but you wanted to know about culture. That is what makes a Pakistani a Pakistan. But then again, I have so many Indian students and we share all these sentiments. We know these are the realities that we all know. And no one can deny it. But this is the unfortunate thing, because the smaller size of Pakistan and the larger size of India. But well, another wonderful thing, excuse me. Pakistan rhymes with what? Yes. Afghanistan, mainly Afghanistan. My students used to believe that Pakistan is the capital of Afghanistan. Really? One of my professors also believed that Pakistan was the capital of Afghanistan. Seriously? No. They are two different countries. Uzbekistan is also a country. It is not a town or a city in Afghanistan. Not all rhyming words are one country. So, that was when people started thinking 9/11 happened and Afghanistan came in highlights and then Pakistan, and I will tell you why people hate Pakistan and why Pakistan is so innocent. But well, not innocent anymore still, because Osama bin Laden was found in Pakistan. So, but still innocent, you will see. I'll shine the light under that bed. At that time, people started believing that, oh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and then Osama bin Laden. So women are oppressed over there and women are suffocated. And this is one of the suffocated women here. She chose to wear her hijab. I don't wear hijab, but she chose to wear her hijab or the headscarf when eighth grade, no, after eighth grade, freshman year. So now she is going to be a senior in high school. So, this slide is for to eradicate those type of stereotypes that all the country women are not oppressed. We have, that is our general, those are our F-16 pilots. And then we have paratroopers and all that. So those are women, but forget about those. Look at the food. That is what Homa and I are looking forward to going and enjoying that. Oh my God, the food is too, yeah, seriously. Again, the cricket match, the tattoos. So again, showing a lot of one of my professor had asked, that was in 2012. He published author. He asked me, how do we communicate or contact people in Pakistan? And at that time, I'm divorced now, but at that time I was married. I brought that dialogue home and shared that with my husband, and he said, you should have said by beating drums. But my professor thought that we didn't have telephones. Well, the telecompanies or if you go back, the outsourcing or whatever, America outsources the things, or whatever, however that is worded. There are the teletech companies. They are based in Pakistan and India. We have the world's most intelligent and smart engineers in our country. Aga Khan University and the Polytech Institution in Aga Khan, and then another university, what is that? Ghulam Ishaq Khan Institute, GIK Institute. Those have produced, and we have a lot of American and British students coming to those universities just because of that engineering degree. And those are elite universities, elite colleges. So we do have telephones there. And we do have the cell phones or the mobile phones there, also high technology. There is some technology that even I'm not aware of. Well, I'm not aware of many other technologies either, but things that we're not aware of here, because they're exposed more to what is in Australia and in England, and they're competing with New Zealand, Australia, England, China, Japan, and we are just in America, so we are not exposed to that much. So they're much more advanced in certain cases. My bridal wedding picture was kind of like that. I think I was prettier than this, but no. This picture is bride and groom. It is of a very traditional bride and groom couple, the married couple. And henna, that is Homa, is she's an expert now. She's very good henna drawer, whatever. So she a designer, henna designer. So that is henna. And then biryani or those triangle things, those are the samosas with chutney and okay, so this is our culture. Our food is not as spicy as the Indian food. I cannot eat Indian food. You cannot even digest. I cannot digest Indian food. It is so spicy. It is so spicy. Oh my God, the chili pepper is so hot spicy, not the spicy, the hot spicy is very spicy. And the southern part of India has really, the Telugu food is very spicy. The difference between Pakistani and Indian food, everything is exactly almost the same, all the recipes and everything. It's just the measurement of chili pepper, hot chili pepper. In Indian food, it will be 1.5 teaspoon. In Pakistani food, it will be half teaspoon. Because our food is not that spicy and our food is not that oily either. And we use mustard oil or usually mustard oil or coconut oil, not as much of the vegetable oil or the other oils. So those are some of the differences, and we don't use that much oil in our food. So, okay, question. Which one is a real cowboy?
How do you define a cowboy?
I don't know.
I don't know, I'm not from here.
No, but just general. It's go with the stereotypes. Which one is, according to the stereotypes in America, existing stereotypes in America, which one is a real cowboy? The white one, pardon me saying the colors, but that is what people call me. I'm the brown one. So the white one or the black one. And I'm very brutal, bold, blunt person. I should have started with that. That is how I start all my classes, my introduction. I tell my students, I'm not a regular, coated professor. I am very blunt, and 9/11 has made me even more blunt. So my philosophy is that if as an educator, as a teacher, if I sugarcoat things, then I'm not being fair. The whole world is there to sugarcoat things. I'm your educator, and my job is to prepare you for what is out there. So I need to be the reality, and reality is always better usually, and it's blunt and bold. So please do pardon me. I keep on apologizing that don't get offended, because this is all an education. Without shining lights on bitter facts, I cannot educate you or teach you about the real things. There will be things that will make you angry, but if you are getting angry about something, remember that anger is a defense mechanism. If something is making you angry, then please go back inwards and ask yourself, why am I being angry? Is there some hidden prejudice or bias within me that she triggered? And now my defense, I'm being defensive, and because anger is a defense emotion. You get angry because you want to change. All emotions have a role. Happiness is when you're happy. When you want to enjoy, your body wants to celebrate. Sadness, depression is when your body is tired, when your brain is tired, when you're sad, and your body just wants to just cuddle up and sit quietly in one place, not do anything, right? Just like that, anger. What is anger? You get angry at something and you want to take up a chair and throw it. Why? Because you don't like something and you want to change it. So if I say something and that makes you angry, instead of cursing me, do curse me, sure. I would curse and I'm used to it. But instead of cursing me, please for 2 seconds, only for 2 seconds, just think, why am I getting angry? What did she trigger? There must be some bias, something that someone somewhere had said, and that became from the peripheral route or the unconscious, subconscious route, it got absorbed in your brain and it stayed there, and I just triggered that. And now you are becoming defensive. Anger is a defense mechanism. Just remember that, and then resolve that. Otherwise, being a counseling and rehabilitation teacher, professor, I tell my students that if you will not tackle your anger or your emotions right now in this protective, safe environment, then your patient, you're sitting in front of your patient or your client, and your patient will say something, and you will respond in anger, or that expression will come on your face, and you will lose your $350 per hour payment. That gig will go away, and or you pursue. So tackle, always go back inwards and see, speculate, or introspect, not speculate, introspect and see the reason. So coming back, who is the actual couple? Yes.
I actually.
Black is very is the one on the.
They're just a little too fancy to be real.
I know, right? But then this is just, this is plagiarism, photocopy paste from Google.
Right.
The one on the right, the black, white.
Because of his hat. His hat.
Both have cowboy hats. No, it's not because of the hat.
One has a horse.
They both have a horse. He has a horse in the back also. He's sitting inside the barn with this beautiful shirt, and he's standing outside. Both have horses.
Guy on the right has a sweater is
Let's walk.
You all are being so kind.
And it.
You, sir, tell me, don't be kind. You're all being very kind.
Take the one on the right,
The one on the right, the black
the one
one.
on the left looks too fancy to be working out there.
He's cold. He's a teacher. Okay, so actually, you're all being very kind.
Neither of
Thank you, very
them.
polite, not kind, very. polite.
Well, the one on the right is black. We can't have black cowboy.
Exactly, that is not the stereotype. Cowboy is supposed to be, thank you very much, you're my favorite student. That is the answer that I want. So ask Mark, in my class, I would keep on forcing them to give me the answer that I want them to say. I never go with what they want to say. So, yeah, the stereotype is that cowboy has to be white if they're wearing a hat and a cowboy hat and a buckle. If the buckle is bigger, they are a rodeo cowboy type of a person. They must have won that rodeo, or they must be into rodeo, or if they have a hat, then that. So that's a stereotype, right? Whereas Homa taught me a while ago, which surprised me, who are the actual cowboys, who were the actual cowboys?
History 3/4 Black and African Americans.
African Americans were the actual real cowboys, history-wise. I didn't know that, but I never read American history. She is a history fanatic, so, okay. Now comes the blunt, bold, brutal picture that you guys will hate me for. Don't, doesn't matter. Turban equals Muslim equals terrorist. I love this heading. It's the truth. That is why I'm bombarded by love comments all the time. There's a wedding picture again. There's a turban. You all thought that was cute 2 slides ago. Now you will all hate this groom. There are no sympathies for this groom, right? Why? Because his picture is right next to Osama bin Laden's picture. When 9/11 happened, the person in the yellow turban, who is that? He's a Sikh, S-I-K-H. S-I-K-H, Sikh. Kind of like sick, the illness sick, but with a more influence on that, not Sikh. Sikh. He's a Sikh. Sikh people are in India and they worship, they don't worship, they follow a guru. Guru Nanak. Guru Nanak is a person, human. And they don't work, well, they bow for in front of Guru Nanak and all, and they also believe in God, but they follow his teachings. One of the teachings they follow 5 Ks. I have now forgotten what 5 Ks are, but one of the K is in their language. One of the K is for comb. One of the K is for hair. Another is for the bracelet, copper bracelet, which is half broken, here. And then, fourth is underwear, and fifth is, I don't remember. But the K, they are not supposed to cut their hair. The actual authentic Sikh is not supposed to cut their hair, man, is not supposed to cut their hair. So they grow their hair from when they were a little child, boy, and they keep on growing it. So, and their hair is sacred, just like in Native American culture. Their hair is very sacred to them. It is one of the teachings of Guru Nanak. To protect and respect their hair growth and all, they make a bun of their hair and then bun over here, and that is why they tie the turban. We have a lot of Sikh population in Washington State, Vancouver specifically, and then New Jersey, Philadelphia, New York area, but mainly in New Jersey. Okay, when 9/11 happened, and Sikhs, they own a lot of gas stations. When 9/11 happened, Osama bin Laden, an Afghani Arab, Osama bin Laden was an Arab, but he was living in Afghanistan. He was not Afghani, definitely was not Pakistani, but he was living in Afghanistan, and he was an Arab. Look at his turban and look at the Sikhs' turban. After 9/11, immediately after 9/11, a lot of Sikhs were brutally murdered, blindly and brutally murdered. They're not even Muslims. They don't even worship a god. They follow a guru. But just because of the turban, they were killed brutally. We did exactly the same thing to so many Chinese because people said that China sent us COVID. We brutally murdered and insulted and humiliated so many Chinese women and children and girls. And the same thing again happened with the Palestine thing. Same thing again happened with so many Muslim students in big prestigious universities. Their graduation was banned just because they raised a voice for their fellow nation who needed freedom. And then we call ourselves, and I think I'm now authorized. I feel that I am an American. I've served America for almost 30 years now as a teacher, raised my American children here, have respected America, have been a peaceful citizen. So I think I can call myself an American too, right? So when I say we call ourselves a nation where why did we all come here? Because this was where dreams come true, right? My husband had said, I didn't never wanted to come to America because I thought the whole America would be like Miami Vice. People would murder you in alleys and throw your dead body in blue dumpsters. That was my image of America. Ask someone else and they'll say, oh, America has all cowboys there. Like even our New York students, they felt that when coming to Montana, they thought that, I thought there would be teepees everywhere. So, but we were from other countries and we thought that this was the place where dreams would come true. When all of you, all of us came to America, we came here because then we made this place where dreams would come true, where there would be freedom of speech, freedom of religion, because we did not have that freedom in the places where we were. This was supposed to be a dream place. What happened to it now? We are suffocating, not just ourselves, we have so much hatred, not just amongst ourselves, within our hearts, everywhere. Why? Isn't it a good thing? We are all sitting together, there was soup, we are all listening, learning about another culture. It's wonderful, learn about, talk about other and educating ourselves. So this is how America was thought of, right? But it has changed. Well, in my culture, going back to my culture, why are turbans worn? This is me shining that light under the dead monster to see the monster. Reason for turban, it is not that terrorists wear a turban. What is the temperature here today? 104? Is it too hot? 110? When it gets to 110, we have wildfires, right? It goes to 120, 128 or some temperature there, and people are plowing, not on tractors, with their oxen, the bulls, ox and hand, whatever plows, and they're plowing their fields. And they go early morning, and of course, they have to plow their fields and prepare the fields and all that. How do they protect themselves? We don't have, well, now we do, but hats, these tiny, slim, thin hats that made of cotton or the woven thing, that won't save the head. So there is a 7-yard long cotton cloth, white fabric that is wrapped around the head to make it thicker so that the heat does not penetrate the head. That is a turban. That is what the farmers wear. Then we were ruled, the Muslims ruled in subcontinent, and Mughal Empire, those were kings, and that dynasty, that was the trademark dress or the attire, specific attire was, it included that turban. So the married couple, and I like this picture because that was my ideal. I wanted my wedding to be like a prince and princess. So that is why I wore a princess, traditional princess dress, and my husband, he was born and raised in American schools, American cities, married a villager, Pakistani, typical conservative villager. So he had to wear a turban and all that, but the Mughal style. So that is, again, his turban doesn't have that many wraps, but see how long it is? It is 7 yards long. So that is just a traditional attire. But then going back, the traditions in America and Britain have now changed. Go back even to Jesus, peace be upon him, or Mary, peace be upon her. Were they ever seen in t-shirts or jeans or shorts? They were wearing the same clothes that Arabs wear. So why do we hate Arabs now? Just because Osama bin Laden or some terrorist destroyed our city or killed people, so we hate all Arabs, but our own prophet or messenger or Lord to you guys, he wore the same dress. So why are we buying into the stereotypes? Have you not ever asked yourself those? Why do we ridicule or assume that women like this are oppressed? So you're saying that Mary, peace be upon her, was oppressed? She was the bravest woman, the most assertive, the most kind, the most forgiving, the best woman, peace be upon her. Why do we forget those things? We just blindly follow the stereotypes. We are the blind followers. My dad used to say that in traffic jams, he used to say that the strongest assertive person is the one who, instead of staying in the traffic jam, would go up the curb and or the median and start a new route, and then people will start following that person. There is one risk taker, one change or revolutionary person who will do one thing, and then people start following. Why can't we all be like that? Why do we just have to sit quietly and wait for someone else to take the first risky step? Why? We have little tiny life. Why can't we be the change person? I often think that, but then that is why I tell my students, I will be bold, blunt, brutal. So be angry, be whatever. I don't care if you kill me. At least I will be able to put something through, and someone will start thinking about something. Another concept, oh, Muslim, you are the one who do the jihad, meaning killing people, you killed people, 9/11 was jihad, they were killing, no, and no. Jihad does not mean kill. Yes, it doesn't kill. It does not mean kill and take lives. It means kill your impulses. How many of you observe Lent? No, okay. How many of you have done intermittent fasting? Cool. How many of you have done detox or given up something for Lord or someone dear to you? Or done something that you hate? Really? No one? Okay, cool. So just some scenarios to make you think. Jihad mainly is when you, the example that I used to give people was kind of like if I've been saving for a pair of shoes that I've always wanted. And I save, finally I have that amount of money. And I'm so happy that, okay, today, after teaching my class, I go to the mall and buy my shoes because I have my $122. And then I come out of my classroom and walking towards my car, and I see Native American student of mine who has damaged shoes, and it is all icy and so cold. And I see her, and I just quietly give my 122 to her. Why? No one is watching. She will not come and give me gold medal, but Allah or God is watching. And He created me and her equally. But I am was able to, because of my job, was able to save that 122. She couldn't, she already must have student loans, and she couldn't. That is why she has those damaged shoes. Or worn out shoes. So me quietly giving her, that is, I killed my impulse or my desire to buy the new shoes. And I gave money to her. That is jihad. What I firemen do, don't they have families? Why are they jumping into the fire to kill it when it's the wildfires, or jumping into the buildings to save people? Why? They have their own children. Why can't they sit in their own house? During COVID, why were our doctors and nurses working? Were they immune to COVID? No, they didn't care. That was jihad. They were killing their own impulses, their own desire to stay safe, to help other people. When I got death threats, and I'm still going to those places, when I went to Sealy, there the principal had to escort me, not just to the parking lot, escort me all the way out on highway, what is that, I-90 or 25, whatever, all the way out on the interstate, because the death threats was so serious. Why did I go there? To educate, just to educate. That is my thing. But now my thing, I think it's because of age. I've gotten to that age where I don't care. But even if I can bring about a change in just one person, I've done my, that is jihad. Jihad is not, people ask me or say that Islam is spread through the power of sword. No, again, wrong. Islam actually, if you read the history, not the history written in American books, the actual history, then you will see Islam actually spread through forgiveness. Before Islam, there was cannibalism. Before Islam, there was colonialism. There was rape. There was all those bad things happening. Muslims, why do Muslims have so many wives? Now, 4 marriages are allowed. Then 4 marriages were allowed. Why? So that a Muslim, because Muslim men would go out to fight in the war, would come back or not come back. And then there would be other women who, from the enemy's army, whose men would die in the war. Then our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he would command or tell his people to marry the women of the enemy's women, so that they're not raped or treated as servants. Because there is a huge respect given to a wife in Islam. They were given, the enemy's women were given the respect or status of a wife. That was when their rule or the thing about 4 wives are allowed if you can treat all 4 wives equally. Not that you treat them like servants or satisfy your desires and have 4 women. No, you have to treat them equally, spend on them equally and all that. So that was Islam was spread through kind gestures like that. And then people would say, oh, they gave us respect. They forgave us. They didn't punish us. They didn't insult us. They didn't even, and they would then say, tell me more about your religion. Tell me more. And that is how Islam spread. It did not spread by sword. Another misconception, jihad is a holy word mentioned in Holy Quran. No. Jihad is nowhere mentioned in the Quran. Quran, the holy book of Muslims. It's the 4th book. Muslims believe in Bible also. Quran is one of the 4 books, the last book. First book is Torah, then Zabur. Torah Moses, peace be upon him. Zabur on David, peace be upon him. Gospel, the Old Gospel, Bible, or Injil, revealed on Isa or Jesus, peace be upon him, and Quran, the last book, on Muhammad, peace be upon him. So Muslims believe in all 4 books, not the Bible, the current Bible that has been altered and changed so many times, but the Old Gospel, yes, Muslims do believe in that. And if you read Quran, there will be a lot of similarity you will see between Quran, Torah, Zabur, and Bible. So nowhere the jihad is not a holy word or a holy war or whatever. Okay, related to that, again, so turban is part of a culture, a necessity for the heat. All the majority of the Muslim countries are in a really high temperature countries. And the little tiny hat or baseball cap or cowboy hat doesn't make any difference. It needs to be something heavy wrapped around your head to save you from heat stroke. Similarly, this is part of a culture. I'm the last person, that is how I was raised. I was never raised with with hijab. And in Islam also, when a woman is not looking to get married, is at the age of non-childbearing age and non-marrying age, I don't intend to get married anymore. So I thought that, okay, my daughter is wearing hijab, maybe I should too. Then I found this saying and I said, oh, okay, I'm forgiven. I don't have to wear my hijab. But no, seriously. Hijab does not mean piece of cloth on your head. Hijab means modesty. So I tell my students, you will never see me with deep neckline, showing my cleavage, or wearing whatever. I used to be a spinning bike instructor. And even then I would not wear off-sleeve shirt. I would wear a quarter sleeve t-shirt and my crop capris up to ankles. But so I've done all those things. Crazy. I was a kickboxing instructor and I have won a boxing match also. So I've been a boxer also. But so Muslim women do all these crazy things too. She's a great swimmer. She has her own hijab swimsuit and all that. It's modesty. You don't show your skin. Do you feel oppressed?
Yeah.
So your chance. Do you feel oppressed or not?
No.
What is hijab? This is your topic.
For me, hijab is actually really freeing. It kind of comes back to the question of why I started wearing hijab. And of course, there's like it's modesty, it's humility, and I think that's something that's shared in, something that's shared in a lot of different cultures and a lot of different religions. And there's a lot of, I have a lot of Christian friends that believe in practice of modesty. I have a lot of Jewish friends that believe in practice of modesty. It's something that's just, and even friends that aren't religious that still believe in it. And it's something that's more universal, just as a value like modesty, humility, excuse me, etc. But the other reason, and what I think is one of the main reasons as to why I started wearing hijab, why a bunch of Muslim women started wearing hijab, is, and it's the freeing part of Islam, the part that I always talk about when somebody asks me if I'm
the opposite of oppression.
Yeah.
And suffocation.
because so many societies everywhere, not just Pakistani society, not just Arab society, almost every single society and culture in the world, especially nowadays, they've always judged a woman by her looks. So like judging a woman's worth or her value by her looks. So like before I started wearing hijab, when I felt a lot of pressure to fit in with like my white or my Christian friends or like my non-Christian friends, any of my friends who would like wear like skinny jeans, tank tops, etc., etc. And I would wear those and I would always be wondering, oh, like, do I look fat in this? Or does this make my legs look weird or something like that? But Islam and wearing hijab showed me like this truth, and practicing modesty showed me this truth that your looks are not an important thing about you. They're the least important thing. What matters is your character and your values and your soul and your spirit. And these are all things that Islam does. So Islam kind of offered me this new level of like existing as a person, because now when people look at me, they don't see if I'm fat or skinny or if my shoulders are proportional to my legs. They see a Muslim woman, and that's a part of myself that I've never felt insecure about. That's a part of myself that I've always been confident in, is my character, my values, and how they're expressed in my faith. So when I express myself as a Muslim through wearing hijab, it's freeing because I'm no longer confined to this, I have to look how everybody wants me to look. Now it's I do what I want, I act how I want, how is true to myself. So like I'm a debate captain. One of my main things is I go to a bunch of different places and just talk about like my opinion on certain issues that are really controversial. But suddenly there's like this respect for me being controversial because it's no longer focused on me appealing to other people in that way. It's me appealing to my own character, my own values. So in a way, my outward expression of Islam through hijab and through like modest clothing has helped me kind of be myself on the inside as well. So I think I don't think that's a question personally. But
Another thing.
Thank you.
Another thing, aside from the explanation of suffocation and oppression, another thing is honor. So I'm not wearing hijab, but I am wearing a scarf. What is my scarf covering? Sorry for being bold and blunt, women. My scarf is covering my breasts. Breast is one of the most important part in a woman's body, right? Everywhere in the whole world, it is the most attractive part. That is what people look at, right? I'm hiding that. Why? Think about that. Another thing, in our culture, when a woman gets pregnant, when I became pregnant, especially with Homa and Zaki, the twins, I was so huge and was in Walmart, and a woman came and she said, "Oh, what are you having? Hey, excuse me, away, don't touch my belly, that is a private part." But no, in American culture, private part is not your belly, especially a pregnant belly, that is a community part. Anyone can touch and guess if you're having a boy or a girl. And they will even in Alabama, oh my God, I was pregnant with twins in Alabama. In Alabama, they will actually do an ultrasound with their hand to tell if the baby is here or there, boy or girl, hiccuping, kicking, whatever. It was so
Kickboxing skills.
yes, I got certified, but then, yeah, I should have. But no, I was too heavy. I even applied for the handicap parking permit there, but university didn't allow. They said, "You're not disabled." And I would walk like that. But well, in our culture, both in India, so irrespective of Muslim or Hindu, it's the cultural thing. India, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, all those Asian countries, when a woman gets pregnant, she hides her belly. There is a scarf that goes all around her belly. Definitely not allowed to touch a woman's belly, not even allowed to look at her breasts or her belly. Why not? My students asked me, why not? And I said, because the pregnancy happened as a result of something that was very private between me and my husband. I cannot even share my pregnancy with my father. That would be disrespectful. When I'm talking about my pregnancy with my dad, I did. My dad is my best friend. But no, usually women in our culture, and that is not oppression. That is not oppression. That is respect. It is respect for my dad. He's my father, he's the head of the family. Do I share, hey dad, I had sex with my husband, got pregnant and the baby's kicking? That is so disrespectful. That is so disrespectful. If you think of it in that way, it is the honor thing, it is the respect thing. When I go, I don't wear hijab, okay? When I pray, of course I do, cover my hair. When I go to my village, all the elders in, my family, when I go in front of them, I do cover my hair. Why? Not out of oppression, out of respect. They're my elders. When I stand in front of God and say my prayers, I do cover my hair. Again, out of respect. Because He's God. He's someone special. He created this whole universe, and now I'm standing in front of Him praying. How dare I be disrespectful? Not that I'm disrespectful towards you guys, but that is just,
I have a question.
please,
I have no hair.
say that.
I have no hair, so in that situation, would a covering still be something that would be expected?
So covering does not have, it's not the hair. It's the respecting, it's the, what makes you pretty in your body. What is the most beautiful part of your body? It's your head, your hair, your eyes, your face, your, in a woman, breasts, your, in a woman, everything. Because woman is beautiful, pretty, right? So anything and everything, even without your hair, you're the most attractive person. So scarf is, it's a respect thing, it's an honor thing, that you are. So I'm wearing this out of respect for my elders, or for God and all that. Another thing is to save your own honor. When you go to Pakistan or India or such places, and you don't want people asking you about your hair. What happened to your hair? Why don't you have hair? Cover your hair. They will not ask you because they cannot see your hair. Same thing what Homa said, that instead of being conscious about the size or the weight or this or that or complexion or whatever, you hide that. In our culture, again, not just Pakistan or not just one Muslim country, in a lot of Muslim countries, and not just Muslim countries, in India also, in Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, there are countries that are not even Muslim, that is part of now a culture thing also. It's a girl's honor. You must have had a lot of men, boys from growing up who had that X-ray vision. All women are aware of those X-ray eyes that we hate. And we can even sense those X-ray eyes even when we're not looking towards it. We can sense those, someone is staring at me. Those are so uncomfortable. Why are you in my space? This is my space, my body. Why are you even looking at me with those eyes? Don't X-ray me up and down. For that, these societies have asked their girls to, like Afghanistan, the blue burqa in Afghanistan. And of course, the terrorists are there. They're the extremists. Muslims don't call them Muslims. They call themselves Muslims, they're not Muslim. Islam is the most easy religion. It does not create or brings difficulty. I don't wear hijab. God said, have modesty in your eyes. I don't seduce men with my eyes or have an intention of seducing men with my eyes. I keep my eyes down. I cover myself and I'm comfortable. I'm not being a seductive woman outside or a bad woman outside. So I'm good. That is what hijab is. Modest, stay within your limits. So I can cover or not cover. Men, fathers, brothers, they ask their women to cover themselves when they go out, so that their daughters or their sisters stay safe from those X-ray eyes, so that no other man, any man other than their husband or their brother or whoever puts a dirty eye on their sister or their daughter. That is Afghani culture, again, because of the temperature also. They cannot wear wearing hijab like that because it gets too hot. So burqa is easier and it is possible to eat from under it also. And they don't have to wear burqa all the time. They take burqa off in, there are other situations also. So, yeah, we will ask questions. Sorry, I tend to talk a lot and so this was about hijab. I'll let you read this. It is hijab includes the way a person walks, talks, looks, and all. It took me a long time, it took my students a long time for me to convince me to say ass or asshole. Now I can say asshole. But I still cannot, I've been in America almost 31 years now. I still cannot say the F word. I cannot. And it is, I was just asking Zaki, Huma's twin brother, that do you also say, because I was watching a series and oh my God, they cannot finish one sentence without saying F word 4 or 5 times. It is such a thing now, like one sentence. And I asked, do you talk like that too? And he said, yeah, sure, of course. Said, don't you dare. But I was teaching at Rocky Mountain College and it was my students, they wanted me to say asshole. They said, I mean, just say ass, just say ass. And because my biggest curse word was idiot. And that's still, someone would cut me off and I would say idiot. And that's it. And now I can say asshole. But that is when I'm super angry. That is what, well, okay. Do Islam and Christianity have different origins? No. You're all my brothers and sisters from Ibrahim, peace be upon him. We're all brothers and sisters. We don't think about those things. We just do not think about those things. Big difference between Muslims and Christians. This will shock you, might shock you if you are not aware of this. Muslims do not believe that Jesus, peace be upon him, is Son of God. Shocking thing for you, might not be shocking thing for even Christians did not believe before 1400 years, 632 before 632, did not believe that Jesus, peace be upon him, was Son of God. Even Christians knew that Mary, peace be upon her, did not have a husband or had an intercourse or had that was Jesus, peace be upon him, his birth was a miracle. If you don't believe it, go back to the original Bible, the gospel, and you will see. Or read it. One difference, Muslims do not believe that Jesus, peace be upon him, was the Son of God. That is the one difference between Christians. Muslims, monotheistic religion. Christianity was also a monotheistic religion. Now I don't know, I don't understand because there is a trilogy, there are 3. So how is monotheistic? So I don't know, but it's okay. Muslims only worship one God. We do believe and respect Jesus, Isa, peace be upon him, and Maryam or Mary, peace be upon her. Jesus, that was a miracle, and his biggest miracle was that he spoke right after birth when people asked him. But that is again, when they asked Mary, peace be upon her, how did he, you're a decent woman, how did this happen? And she just pointed at the baby and the baby did spoke. So that was his first miracle in Quran, particularly. So, but I would urge you to go back to your oldest version of Bible and see if there is any truth to it. Another thing that Muslims do not believe is resurrection. Another thing Muslims believe is that Jesus did not die on the cross. I'm so sorry, again, being blunt, but I'm educating you. Muslims do not believe that Jesus, peace be upon him, died on the cross. His soul was taken before he experienced the pain. That is what Muslims believe. He was put on the cross. Before the first nail, his soul was taken. He was not given the pain. That is what Muslims do. Another thing that Muslims do not believe was the resurrection. He will come back. He's the only prophet who will come back before the end of the world. He will come back, live in the world for 40 plus years, and will try to make people good again. But at that time, his soul was taken away. Those are the three differences that are between Christians and Muslims. But then I would urge you to go back to the gospel, the first version of Bible, and see what the truth is. Otherwise, everything is exactly the same. Muslims do believe we believe in gospel, the teachings, and him as prophet, and his teachings. We do follow, and all his miracles and all that. So, what is Islam? Islam basically means peace. I say when in greeting, you say hello or good morning. I don't know what hello means, but good morning means have a good day, right? Assalamu alaikum is a Muslim greeting. May peace be upon you. So if as a Muslim, I'm saying Assalamu alaikum, may peace be upon you, will I come with a sword and kill you then? Does that even make sense? If my greeting to you is Assalamu alaikum, how are you? And then pick a sword and kill you? Not possible. So think about it. There are so many things that we don't take. We just follow the crowd and we just follow the crowd. So that is that. Another thing people say that Islam is a very intolerant religion. Wrong. This is a surah or a little chapter, a set of verses from the holy book, the Quran. Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun, la a'budu ma ta'budun. Our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he, just like Jesus, peace be upon him, was revealed or given, had conversation with God and was sent messages for his people. That is how Quran was, our holy book was revealed on our Prophet, the messenger. And we do not worship our Prophet. We don't. He is a prophet, only a messenger, just like human, a messenger. That's it. He brought God's messages to people, and those messages were jotted down and put into a book, and that is the Holy Quran. Quran has not been changed, not even a single dot. How do I know this? Because the actual Quran is still, and we saw that in the Turkey Museum. It's in Istanbul. It's in the Turkish Museum still. The actual Quran written on the tree bark. So that is still there, and there is not a single dot has been changed. People have memorized Quran. So even if you go to Africa, Timbuktu or Paris or wherever, and find a Muslim and ask them to recite a surah or a verse or something, they will recite it exactly how it is recited anywhere in the world. And it is only in one language, God's language, Arabic, and then it's been translated. The meanings have been translated, not the Quran. Arabic has not been changed. The words have not been changed. This says that you've read that. When people asked Muhammad, peace be upon him, that you hate Hindus, you hate temples, you hate churches, you hate other people, Christians, or the people who are not Muslims. He didn't know how to properly answer that. So that was when God revealed this surah or this set of verses on him and saying that, tell them, Muhammad, peace be upon him, tell them, say, O you disbelievers, O those who do not believe in one God, you believe in what you believe, and I believe in what I believe. You keep on doing what you're doing, and I'll keep on doing what I do. A Muslim is not allowed to break down a temple or break down a church or come and change your religion. Muslims are not allowed to convince you to change your religion and convert to Islam. But in India, a lot of people were killed by force, die, become a Christian, or die. Very recent news. Google. That is not allowed in Islam. The extremists, Osama bin Laden, that was not, this is not in favor of that. There was a lot of anger behind that. You might know, if you don't, again, some homework for you to do, to read about the invasion of Afghanistan by America. So it was basically America's fault. Invasion of Afghanistan, no, seriously. Why am I so serious about it? Because my country suffered, and we are still suffering. We are a tiny country. Even the kid there, young person, he knows we're smaller than Texas. What is our population? It's huge.
A lot.
Yeah, it's huge. And then along with that huge population, we have Afghan refugees in our country for 33 plus years now. We made a mistake of inviting them into our country when America wanted to fight Russia from Afghanistan. Why is Pakistan so important and why does America hate Pakistan? Because if Pakistan is conquered, America can get into India, America can get into Iran, America can get into China, and America can get into Russia. If India conquers Pakistan, same thing. If China conquers Pakistan, same thing. Pakistan is very important. It's that passage country. It's a little passage that everyone has its eyes on. But in 1984, 83, 84, please do Google and read, don't take my word for it, and you'll see, because we are still suffering from that economical pressure. 84, 85, our wonderful president decided that, oh, Afghanistan, they're a Muslim country, our brethren, please come, the refugees, come and stay till the war ends. And what America did, they took the prisoners from America, took them there, so that even if they die, nothing will happen. There's life imprisonment prisoners. They trained them on that advanced ammunition, fought Russia, and Google this, okay? It's not coming from the hatred in my heart. It is actually the reality. But don't Google on Fox or those channels. Read Al Jazeera or BBC or some unbiased channel or place. They took the prisoners, American prisoners, from here, went to Pakistan, through Pakistan into Afghanistan, and then because they couldn't enter Afghanistan any other way, there's China, there's Iran, and there's Russia. They had to fight Russia, entered through Pakistan into Afghanistan, trained those cons on the advanced ammunition, fought Russia, left the cons there with the ammunition. The ammunition that Taliban's used, that is American ammunition. That was not provided by Pakistan, that was not provided by Russia, that was not provided by China or Iran or Arab countries. That is American ammunition. The leaders were American trained cons, prisoners. And Osama bin Laden's motivation, he did wrong, very wrong, very wrong. The motivation was that anger. How dare they come into our country, destroy our people, and then sit and live their life, leave all this ammunition and these people here. You know what happened? Our villages, Pakistan had nothing to do with Afghanistan or Russia. Our villages, even in Obama's time, recently, our villages on the border, America would have their exercises on their missiles and drones or whatever, exercise, practice, and they would throw it, and then they'd say, oh, accident happened. And 1,300 people would die from that accident. But no one would say anything about those accidents. Who were the actual suicide bombers? Please look that up. They were not Pakistanis, they were not Muslims. My dad was so scared, my own father, our military, my whole family is from the military. They were so scared to go out on the roads because there would be an attack or because the military, who was killing those military people? Why? Because Pakistan is important. These things are not taught, our people are not educated, and we get scared of just the stereotypes. We make the mistake of not reading the detail. Why? Just ask yourself why. Why did Osama bin Laden crash into the building? Why? It should take you back, trace back, oh, again, the anger. There are so many whys that we don't ask. We just quickly react on whatever the people are saying. And we have so much hatred in us. And we hate is blind. We just do things out of that blindness. And then, oh my God, please, let's just stop just for a second and think about the other person. Shine that light and see why. Why are they doing this? Why is something happening? Why am I was also scared when we go back to Pakistan, our own country, I have to take the Muslim airlines. There was a time when they were tiny babies and I was taking them. I was so scared of taking a Muslim airline, seriously. I was, as a Muslim, I was also scared of a bearded man in the airplane. It's a very natural response. That is a very human response. Yeah, it's that herd thing that we all, hypothesis that we all heard during the COVID time, the herd mentality. Because if the whole herd is bothered about something, there has to be something. The whole herd is immune to something, it will be true, that kind of thing. So it's a social psychology technology. But someone has to take the detour. Someone has to ask the why and find out the reason and educate ourselves. And otherwise, I think we'll all die. Okay, I think we'll stop here. Any questions? Yes.
I just wonder if you'd like to comment on kind of on that note, the elections that happened in February in Pakistan and then.
No, do not talk about the elections. Oh my God. That, I hate Pakistani politicians. It's not just I, everybody. All Pakistanis hate Pakistan now. It's not a government. We wish we had some humans, you know. We have those unlucky people who just stay quiet and we always keep on making the mistake of voting for the wrong person, or we vote for the right person is elected, and then they are bombarded with threats or something, and they're either bought or they get scared. But yeah, it was a rig, and don't look at Pakistani politics, it's just.
But
No, this is nothing. American politics is nothing compared to
But I
Pakistan.
mean, what, wasn't there some,
Our one leader had won. He had won, okay? And the votes were, whoa, there was such a huge difference, hundreds and hundreds of votes were higher by 300 or some difference. One night, okay, when the counting was done, this leader had won, he was in the prison, but all his independent leaders had won, so that party had won. Then we woke up and the other party had won. So there are so many memes, there are so many jokes about that. We don't trust our government.
but I mean, how much influence? You know, I mean, the United States, if it was another country might have stood up and said, hey, this was a rigged election, we can't really trust this, but they didn't do that in that case.
We've given up. There is no use.
But
We've given up.
yeah, I don't know, I've heard reports that there's also, I mean, there are reasons, you know, but
There are a
it's
lot
more convenient for Americans to just have the military in charge. For
Yes.
example. Yeah.
I'm a teacher. Ask me a teacher question. Political question. I don't ask a political question, please. But yeah, as a Pakistani, none of the Pakistanis like their government. We hate our politicians. They're not worth it. We did the cricketer Imran Khan, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful prime minister, but then never mind. It's not easy to work Pakistani in Pakistan. That is what I was telling Mama. Don't like Pakistani people. That is what I was telling you. I love being Pakistani, I love Pakistan, but don't like. But yeah. But as a professor, I cannot answer political questions if you don't answer.
We were talking about politics.
No, that was just, I have to educate. It's not that, okay, Osama bin Laden and the terrorists that have occupied Afghanistan now, and they had occupied, they were actually coming to Malala, you remember? Terrorists were there also, Taliban's were there also. But, and then why Osama bin Laden was found in Pakistan? because when our wonderful president, that a lot of people still curse him for that kind gesture, that the Muslim brothers come and live in our country for some time, they never left. And they just had their own little cities at the border. And it's been 35, 37 years now. They're there. They're just Pakistanis now, but they're not Pakistanis. They're Afghanis, and they're different. But why Osama bin Laden was there? Because when you look at the geography, the mountains in Afghanistan, and then they come, and that is the part. It is very easy to get in. You cannot be seen. It is very easy. And then he was hidden right where my brother was. It's a military academy, right next door to it. My brother graduated from that academy. He is a major in army. And the house was right there. Who would have thought that Osama bin Laden was hidden in the house that is right next to the gates of the military academy? I don't know, but I don't get into those details. But even though it was a shock, huge shock for Pakistanis also. Pakistanis didn't know. And I don't know. But we don't believe that the terrorists or those Talibans are Muslims. There is no violence. I don't think any religion preaches violence. All religion is peace. Every religion is, even if it is Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, of course we know, Judaism, we know, but Hinduism and Buddhism, those are peaceful religions. Religions are not violent. So Muslims have no respect for terrorists. Those are extremists. What they're doing to women and all, that is not in Islam. In Islam, women are supposed to be educated. The 5 pillars of Islam, one is the Shahada. We are bearing witness that there is only one God and his last messenger is Muhammad, peace be upon him. Then we say 5 prayers a day. And then it is a must for a Muslim to pay 2.5% of their wages, assets every year to charity, to people who need money. It can be people in your own family if they don't have enough money. 2.5% of your assets, not your salary, but assets that you're not spending or using, that is in saving. 2.5% of that every year, that is zakat. Sawm is the fasting. Every year we fast for 1 month. And then Hajj, if we can afford, because it costs anywhere from 12,000 per person to 22,000 per person from America. I cannot afford it, so I haven't. But since my dad was in Air Attaché, he was in Air Force, an Air Commodore. So when he was in Air Attaché and we were stationed in Saudi Arabia, that was when we were able to perform Hajj or the pilgrimage. But it is not a must. These are the 5 pillars of Islam. These are the 5 things that makes a Muslim. There is no jihad or holy war mentioned in here. Muslim is supposed to go to war to fight oppression. If someone is oppressed, if someone is like, this is my war, if there are people that have negative beliefs or fears, my war is to go against my own fears and go educate those people. That kind of a war, that is kind of like a fireman's, what they are doing, what the teachers are doing, education or that. That is kind of a jihad. So, but these are the 5 main things. So we call those terrorist extremists as terrorists. Yes, Osama bin Laden, that was terrorism, not Arab Islam. No one has that respect. No one respects Osama bin Laden, but Muslims do try to educate people about the reason behind it, because we tend to forget it. The big thing that Fox News and CNN and what they do is they air only one side of the story. I always tell my students, if you're listening, don't listen to Fox. Listen to CNN, yes, good. But then listen to BBC and then Al Jazeera as well. And then you will be covered completely, because then we will have unbiased opinion and then, or educated, and then you can make your own unbiased opinion. When we listen to only Fox or CNN, then we're just those like sheep who just follow each other. Don't be a sheep. Gather all the information and then make your own education. Any questions from me or Hema?
Any books that you recommend? Books to read that?
Any books that you would recommend? There are so many, but I don't know. No. It's a very difficult question. If I recommend a book, then I'm creating a bias. So I don't know who you are, how you think. So, yeah. Right.
Very cool.
Say that again.
The Pakistani cook.
The Pakistani cookbook. Again, the same thing. I want my mom to publish her cookbook. She was a great chef. But, again, I'm sorry, no, I don't know.
You can't find the Pakistani cookbooks because none of the measurements are exact.
Yeah.
Oh, I will.
I cook, I boil, but those are exact. Homa experimented, I was saying, okay, just put half a teaspoon of salt and then I put salt in it. And my child, how do you know that was half a teaspoon? And I took the salt out, put that in the spoon, and it was half a teaspoon. I was so proud of my eyeballs. And I was teaching a group of people, so she challenged me in front of those people, but thank God for this.
No, seriously. Well, a large part of our culture of every country is the foods. And I love to cook, and I have a whole lot of cookbooks. And I read them, and I learn so much about the country and the people and the culture, and it's so much better than reading the newspapers.
There is, so you don't have paper or pencil, there is a chef on Facebook, Irfan, IRFAN.
IRFAN?
Irfan Wasti, WASTI. Best thing, please don't go with this, okay? Go to Amazon, search Pakistani food cookbook, read the reviews, that is how I would like. Read the reviews, whichever has the best reviews are the most. Same thing on recipes.com. Look for a recipe, Pakistani food recipe, biryani, chicken biryani, or whatever. Because not every cook will cook, not every book will tell you exactly like your personality. You will have to, that is why I don't suggest books, no, I'm creating a bias. I tell my students, hey, I'm an educator. I cannot be, I'm saying, don't be a sheep, don't follow people, and then I say, read this, no, I can't. Gather information according to your personality, your case, and see what fits with you, your culture, your choice. Go with that, make your own judgment.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And
I'm so sorry if I've talked too much, but.
I am so sorry that you have to live in enterprise.
Oh, I loved it. No. Ask Homa. I was just telling you that was my best time.
Oh.
Because Faraz was doing his residency and he was serving 5 counties. He did have his Porsche. He used to go in his Porsche on those country roads. So of course, 100, 120. And then when he would get tickets, and then he would say, look at my picture, I was called, I'm on call. And and then all the police officers, all the sheriffs, they knew who this doctor was, and it's, okay, Dr. Masood, you go. But he would be lying, actually. He would go, but then he had to go to all these 5 counties and then serve, and our house there had a swimming pool. And I am a good carpenter. I built an aviary for my birds, and I would go to places, bring birds, put them in the aviary, then sit and watch my birds, and go for a little swim, and come back, cook, and then come back and do. That was when I was teaching my kickboxing and other things. I had so much free time because when I would come back, he would leave early in the morning at 7 and would come back at 7. That's free. Only 1 hour cooking. Pakistani cooking is super simple. You put everything in a pot and then you go away. That food is very good. And it doesn't even have to be a slow cooker. So, yeah, so, but and once I made a mistake after divorce. I made a mistake of mentioning that to the children and, oh, that was the best time for us, proud and looked at me because that was the worst time for him. He had to serve, and then for him, it was 5 counties, so 1 day a week in every county, and he was given 36, 37 patients per day. And for a psychiatrist, because they prescribe drugs that are mind-altering drugs, and it is a huge liability. You have to actually know the person really well, understand their symptoms. So you have to get their history, spend enough time with them, know about their symptoms, and then prescribe medication. And he would have only 15 minutes per patient. And he was just, that is why he hated that enterprise time. I loved it. That was a very stressful time for him. But that was again a very beautiful thing that America did. That American white doctors never go to the underserved areas. They say, no, we are not going to the underserved areas. It's the foreigners that have to go, because the American rule was, you want a green card? Okay, serve in the underserved area for 5 years. So then you will get a green card. We got our green card after 12 years. 5 years were to of serving in the underserved area, which was fun for me.
Not so fun.
Bad for us. Well, I'm done. Okay. One last thing, can I share just one last thing?
Yes.
Okay, I was just looking at the slide. These are in the world, America has 2% of Muslim population now, it is increasing. But majority Muslim countries are in Africa. Africa is the largest Muslim continent, basically. Largest Muslim country. What is the largest Muslim country?
Indonesia.
Who else thinks Indonesia?
Malaysia.
Kazakhstan, is that?
Largest Muslim country.
America.
Largest population, under the board.
A country that has the largest number of Muslims. America has only.
Indonesia.
Very good. Did you just Google it? Yeah. People believe that it was Saudi Arabia. No, Saudi Arabia only has, this is what I wanted to share. Saudi Arabia, where is Saudi Arabia? Middle East is the 20%. The 62% is the Asia. Asia has the largest Muslim population, Asian continent. Indonesia has 97% Muslims in it. So largest Muslim country is Indonesia. Lastly, the largest continent that has majority of Muslims is Asia. Saudi Arabia is not in Asia. Pakistan is not an Arab country. It is wrongly written in our social studies curriculum. It is, Pakistan is a South Asian country. It is Asian, not Arab. So I do not know the recipe for, I do know the recipe for hummus, but we do not eat hummus or falafel. We eat chicken biryani and chicken korma. So Arabs have only 20% of Arabs are Muslims. Amazing, right? People will think that. So this was another, sorry. Now you can go. We are done. Thank you so much. You were wonderful artists. Thank you.